Hi, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyug.
And the title of this episode is
Honoring the Artist's Soul.
We're going to give you some really fun, easy, lighthearted ways to actually harmonize with your artist's soul. Today's show is all about how to honor your artist's soul. And we like to always lead with a fun question.
Yeah.
And the question is, why is it so important to honor your artist's soul, in your opinion?
You know, I had to really think twice about that. It's really an important question. I think that many times people don't think of themselves as an artist. I want to bring that point out in that everyone is an artist. You are creating your life. So as creating your life, you are the artist. And it is so important to honor who you are. So maybe this is relating back to our first show and our getting your tools of destiny, creating your tools of destiny and creating your reality, but honoring who you are, the authentic self that you are, the beauty. So you have to, this comes in with all the adjectives, beauty, glamour, God, I want to say the words that are coming to me like peacefulness, you know, kindness,
serenity.
Oh, serenity, of course.
And peace and calm
absolutely.
and relaxation.
Absolutely. But just to know that regardless of what you do, if you're a plumber, if you are a salesperson, if you are a painter of houses, or you are a construction worker, if you are a CEO, you're an artist. Yeah. Why? We said it. It's so obvious. You are the artist of your life.
Yep. We co-create. We're always co-creating something, and that's what artists do. Exactly. And I like how you pointed out that you don't have to be a actor, singer, dancer, lyricist, poet, whatever. We all have that living inside of us anyway. So we're co-creating, whether we know we are or not. An artist create.
So you have those wide brush strokes. So again, you can use that analogy of all these brushes that you have in your toolkit, and you are the canvas. The world is your canvas, and you are taking that, and you are taking those tools that you see, which is your ink, your paint, whatever, and you are creating your life. Whatever, you can use a small paintbrush here or a large one over here. Again, it's up to you to decide for yourself how you want to make your brush strokes. It's not the same as everyone else.
No. And everybody's got a different perspective. Everybody has a different way of attuning to that artist or co-creator within themselves.
Yes.
I didn't even know. I've always been an artist my whole life. I did not realize that when I was mowing the grass growing up, that I did it with an artist eye.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely, Edward. That's perfect.
My brothers would be like, rah, rah, rah. It looked like Jeffrey Dahmer had his way with the grass when it was over.
Yeah.
But I always liked everything aesthetic.
Yes.
Even as poor as we were. Oh, yeah.
It had to be a certain way. That was your aesthetic. It had to be this way in order for you to do it. And everyone knew that when it was done, you did it.
Yeah. Listen, we had a cow pasture Christmas tree growing up. You have to go out in the cow pasture and drag that thing all the way back to the trailer. That's before we got a fancy double wide. And they're cow pasture Christmas trees. So you can hang remember the styrofoam bulbs that were wrapped in twine?
Yes.
That you get at the dollar store? Well, we had like 2 or 3 boxes of those. You hang one single one on there, it would be like, womp, womp, womp. There would be this big gaping hole in the middle of your tree. So I would have to put icicles all over it. And there were times where every time I had to put a new present under the tree, I'd have to rearrange them. And I would put the icicles on the tree one at a time because first of all, I had plenty of time to do it. Where else was I going to go?
Yeah.
At the same time,
well, that's how you do it. You put one at a time. Is there any other way?
Not my universe.
Not my
Have you seen my
universe.
Christmas trees?
Yes.
And it is about, and then you stand back and you look at it. And I didn't know this term until I was almost in my mid 40s. Designers would come in and they would say, I like what you've done here. And here's a trick. Stand here and scan the room from right to left or from left to right. If your eye stops anywhere, go back. And I never knew that. And that's how I do things now creatively, whether it's writing an article or us doing outlines for a podcast. We are all artist souls. Every soul throughout the universe is a co-creator with the one or into oneness or God, Christ, Buddha, universe, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
So what do you think your artistic heaven on earth looks like for you?
For me, oh my goodness. You know, the one thing that comes to me, the first word that comes to me is happiness. Anything that I bring into my life that would make me happy, I think that that would be my artistic heaven on earth. And all the elements that it supports, that thought and that feeling of happiness, that to me is my artistic heaven. Now, because it could change. It could change a year from now. But right now, it's maybe with the pandemic and staying at home, and because we're in Los Angeles, staying at home, and it has rearranged my thoughts and my perspective in regards to what I think makes me happy, what I believe in my soul makes me happy. And it actually broke things down to very simple things. And family, of course, is very important to me. Beauty.
Yes.
Beauty. Peace. Creativity. Being able to create what I want and things that I don't want too, because, I have that contrast. Sometimes you need that contrast to know exactly what you want. You need to experience what you don't want in order to say, oh, I really do want this. That's really critical, I think, a critical issue. You were going to say?
In art class back in the day, our teacher would take away the colors we used frequently and then leave us to the ones we never picked.
Yeah. Oh, I can see her. That's interesting.
And I was like, now I didn't like it because I was young and I wanted to use the colors that drew me personally, or that helped me escape the reality that I was in. And then within 1 week of that one simple exercise, these are the colors I don't use. These are the colors I don't like. These are the colors that don't speak to me. By the end of the week, we had all turned out better paintings than we had ever done before, because we stretched outside of our comfort zone a little bit more. And plus, we knew we were going to get graded on it. It forced our creative brain and our intellectual brain to pulsate bigger than autopilot.
So it expanded your world.
And and to their credit again, they brought in other things to use. It's the first time I'd ever done watercolors where I dropped sea salt onto the palette, which gave it this whole new texture. And that people were like, how did you do that? And it was like salt. And then, after it dries, you just wipe the salt off.
Yeah.
And it's the same in reality. So the artist's soul creating its own heaven on earth is about, and remember, heaven means expanded consciousness. And creating your expanded consciousness on the earth plane, utilizing your soul, because you're human and your soul self isn't separate. And you create or co-create what you do want. And then sometimes we have to co-create with what we don't want.
Exactly.
And it's about pulling and mining the beauty out of the things that we don't want. Now, Liz and I live in Los Angeles, so we are surrounded every day, you literally, by actors, directors, producers, artists, beautiful people.
Yes.
And that's why Liz and I had to do a podcast, because we're so pretty. We just could not deny the rest of the world all of this loving. Okay? Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus?
Thank you.
Oh, what?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to me just now.
You're so funny.
Here's the thing I love about artists. I've been to many healers, and you have too.
Yes.
And we've done healing work, both giving and receiving.
For many years.
I will go on record and say some of the best healers on planet Earth are actors.
Yeah.
And some of them are recording artists, whether they've recorded in a studio or not. A true artist, in my opinion, they dip right into that heaven and earth as one frequency. And every authentic artist, in my personal opinion, is a unifying frequency. They will help you see things, feel things you couldn't feel until you saw, heard, or received, or disappeared into the world of that actor's story.
Well, they are connected to that creative sphere, You know, like there are different spheres of experience. And like there's the scientists, they gravitate towards things of science and math and
then there's Britney Spears.
I know, it's different. So she's part of the creative sphere. So you access that energy. It's like a thread. You access that energy, and if that healer who's working with you is accessing that energy, it amplifies itself when you're working on a person who's also part of that. It's amazing how it works. It's a symbiotic relationship, but the energy is a circle. So again, the healer will work on that person, and they will take on the inadequate energies of that client that they're working on, and they will recycle it through their own body, their own physical form, their own energy, and they will give it back to that person. Because once you create energy, it doesn't just go away. It has to go somewhere. So it goes back to that person in a more refined manner.
Yes.
So, but that's amazing. Yeah. That's great. That's amazing. I have to bring up an example, not to go on, but my former partner was an artist, and he was in the music business, and he would bring me to a lot of shows to see bands. And I remember particularly when I went to go see these friends of his, and it was a sold out show at the Wiltern. It was a small venue. And I remember looking at the stage, looking at the singer and all the band members, and I could see the energy build up from the audience and the people on the stage. And I can tell you, once she started singing, that energy going up, and you could see the crescendo, and then boom, it was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Thank God. It was a blessing. I was able to see it. Yes. But that happens every single time you see an artist that sings or dances or anything like that, and you have a large audience. Just like any political thing that happens. But in this case, it was a musical. It wasn't a musical, but it was a jazz band that was a jazz singer. But you could see that energy, and it was just pulsating. But it had that crescendo. And it just blew up. It was amazing.
I've had the same experiences, whether it's like a comedian. You know, not all of them, just certain ones that are in alignment with that sphere that you spoke about.
Yes.
And for me, I would watch the artist, and you could tell intention is everything. Yeah. They lined up their intention. They had their set list. They picked out their outfit weeks in advance. They recomposed whatever they were doing to couture the frequency to what they were doing. And then that artist, I've been able to see the energy go out from the artist and hit the crowd and then the crowd get elevated by that frequency,
Yeah,
and then return the
exactly.
frequency back to the artist. Then the artist gets elevated again, and then her elevation goes
That's
out
right.
into the crowd. Then the crowd elevates again,
Yes.
and then goes back to the artist, and it keeps energetically multiple orgasmic combustion pointing, layering itself over and over and over.
Yeah, it's amazing because, and keep in mind too, energy is like a beginning, middle, and end. So there is a beginning, a buildup, and then the middle part when it's like getting up there, and then boom, and then you see the energy come back again.
Yeah.
And it just constantly is rolling over, constantly rolling over. It's amazing.
Yep, it's renewing, refreshing, renewing,
Yes.
refreshing,
Yes.
recycling, renewing, refreshing. It's beautiful to watch.
It is. It is.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyuk.
This podcast is all about honoring your artist soul, which leads us right into, Liz, what do you think it means to honor something? And especially, what is it to honor your artist soul? Oh, actually, you're supposed to ask me that. Never mind.
No, that's okay, honey. But you know what? Okay, let's just to honor your artist soul is just to be who you are. I think we just talked about it. Honor who you are.
Acceptance.
Yeah, again, acceptance. And where you honor the gifts that you have, don't deny them. Many of us have gifts and they're in hiding. It's better not to hide. It's better to, expose it to the air. Let it come out because there's a reason why you have these gifts.
Well, and I think we know what we want to be when we grow up, when we're children.
Yeah.
Until, especially in the generation we were born in, that's trained out of you. If it's creative and artistic, it's trained out of you.
Well, they put the fear of God in you.
Yes, they do.
They put the fear of your parents in you. Don't talk about it. Like, we talked about it, that when we were exposing ourselves saying, I can hear spirits or I can see this. And my mother telling me, don't talk about it. Don't say anything.
Which is a form of the artist's soul because
Yeah.
it's co-creating with non-physical. And what is authentic artist soul frequency? It is a unifying frequency.
Yes.
It unifies. It doesn't separate.
Yeah.
And I think when you honor something authentically without judgment, you're revering it, you're appreciating it. Honor is a form of love, and honor is a form of connecting to that thing that you love.
Well, don't you think that honor also is admitting who you are? I'm this. I mean, I've been hiding it all this time. I think that, I don't know, I keep coming back to the same thing because I feel that we need to explore that we need to admit that we are gifted. You are, with a special, we can do this. We can do that. We can admit that, wow, I'm a great writer. I can do that. How many great writers that or singers or actors never, ever become that? Because why?
Because they have a belief system where they didn't honor their soul, even if other people behind them didn't honor it.
Yeah.
Meaning, it's just scared my mom helped me cultivate it. She even signed me up for famous artists.
Oh, I
School
did that for
Institute.
Vanessa too. Yeah.
And I realized very quickly I need to be in a class. I don't like being by myself doing the exercise. I want to be with a mentor. And it is, I completely forgot where I was going. I did? Oh, honoring the artist soul.
Honoring the artist soul.
My mom helped cultivate it with me, and so did the guy I think of as my dad. And most people are trained out of that honor and appreciation and uniqueness whenever they're kids. And so if it's like being gay growing up. I didn't walk around and advertise it in the 60s in the South. I wasn't stupid.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, I could not deny who I was.
Yep.
When I was younger, I didn't like it because I thought somebody made a mistake up there. And then when I got a little older, which set me on the trajectory to do exactly what we're doing, law of attraction, metaphysics, paranormal. Why was I born this way? Why am I in this family that I'm in? What am I destined to be when I grow up? Are always to co-create with the artist's soul.
I think it takes courage, a great deal of courage. and to step out, step away from the crowd, to step away from your family, generational, belief systems. Sometimes, like as you are, as many people that I know have stepped away from their family traditions and decided, I'm going to do this, like a family of doctors. I don't want to do that. I want to be I want to be a painter. I want to be a manufacturer. I want to make furniture. I want to make fabric. I want to teach children.
I want to make things beautiful.
Exactly. But to have the courage to step away and to follow your what's compelling you to move forward to a different arena that you've never known before.
Yes.
That takes a great deal of courage.
It does. And the courage, the ability to take the courage comes back to having more desire than you do resistance.
Exactly.
Having the desire with little to no contradictions or contradictions.
Or fear.
Yes, which is resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like playing with the energy. That's the great thing about all of us being artistic, creative expressions of the universe.
Yeah.
We get to imagine, pretend, and daydream whatever we want to. But the average person who is on autopilot will only daydream and visualize their credit card limit.
Yeah.
And they'll visualize what's in their bank account instead of more than that. Thank you. They just said the core essence. When you honor your artist soul, the core essence of honor is love.
Yes.
The core essence of an artist is a co-creator.
Yes.
Which is an extension of that love.
Yeah.
And the soul is unconditional love.
Absolutely.
Even if it's inside of a meat suit that can't see it or feel it or receive the core essence of any of those yet. And it's about getting to imagine, pretend, and daydream and play with the energy that creates worlds so that you can lower your resistance and amplify your desire, lower your fear, amplify the end result you want.
So, Eddie, let me ask you a question. What is the artist's soul? What is it saying to you?
What it just said.
And I know.
because
are you listening to that?
Yeah, girl, that's why we're here.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but you do many other things.
Oh, yeah. Well, I see the world through creative artistic expression. I just always have. And I dumbed it down whenever I was younger because I didn't honor it. I thought it was an extension of being, to be honest, I thought all gay people were creative and artistic. But you know what, child? Listen, I've been in some of y'all's houses. And I'm sorry, milk crates and bongs do not make a living room.
No, they do not.
No. So there's some gay people that don't know how to. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We love you anyway.
Don't get us in trouble.
We have a new editing system. This could be taken out so easy.
I know. Anyway, Edward. So let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so you know what it's saying to me, the artist soul. The artist soul is saying to me, I can take a chance. I can have the courage. I can step away. I can move forward, and I can recreate at any time, at any moment in my life. Because keep in mind, you are this big, huge consciousness, and you are experiencing physicality. It's not the other way around. You're not this physical body experiencing consciousness. No, you are this huge, amazing, limitless soul.
You're all that is. You are literally the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky for eternity.
You are the creator. So then you experience this in a physicality, in a third dimensional physicality. And that's why we're here. But for me, it's like stepping away and having the unlimited, knowing that I have the unlimited potential to be whatever I want.
What she just did was elevate her consciousness into higher realms of the universe.
Yeah.
Right then, she literally just brought her heaven into her earth. She also merged more with heaven, expanded consciousness. You and the universe in that moment, as you blended, were one and the same, which is what we're all here to do, become one with all that is. And that integrated essence, or when you integrate like what you just did, it creates an essence inside of you that continues to guide you. I didn't think about this when we did the outline.
Yeah.
But to honor the artist's soul is to hear the nonverbal impulses that your inner guidance system is giving you. And the more you honor, which means love, that expression of yourself as a soul, as a co-creative soul, then you will be put on the right path of whatever your destiny is, regardless of where you landed on this earth.
Yeah. And can I add to that once you commit to that action, once you commit to that path, then the universe will begin to surround you with the elements that you need in order to support that path. That's what's really critical. And I think that if I can just bring up that, let's say you come from a very poor background, come from a poor neighborhood like I did, or whatever, like you did. Mm-hmm. And that thing that was compelling you to move away, to be different and have the courage to be different, then all of a sudden, when you take that first step, physical step, because it's important, you have to take action. You can't just keep it up here and keep thinking about it. You have to take physical action. Again, the universe will present people in your path, will present opportunities in your path, will present support in your path, family members, people who will help you get to that next step. Strangers, for sure, but opportunities, because that's also part of that wealth, the energetic wealth and prosperity in your life, that helps you do that.
But I feel like every bit of that, you're right. People do think that it starts from you taking action, and action is important, but it won't ever start with action first, in my opinion.
Oh, no, that's the third element. Yeah, first you think about it, you visualize it.
You have the inspiration. You're drawn to it organically.
Yeah, exactly. But without, what I'm saying is that without taking the action, nothing's going to happen.
You're going to sit your ass right where you is the rest of your life.
You're just going to be thinking about it. Oh, yeah, I was a really good singer 10 years ago.
That's right. You'll be sitting in a cardboard box under an overpass going, I could have been a famous actress.
My former partner, he's passed away now, but he used to say to me, and I was sharing it with Malcolm, and was just saying that, many times bands would come to him to ask him, what can I do to be successful? What can I do to get my music out there, get it heard? And he just looked at it and goes, look, just go play.
Yep.
Go play. Go get on the road and go play. Go do your thing. Go make your album. Go make your whatever it is, but go do it.
There's something inside of every human that we're trained out of following. Mm-hmm. There's something inside of every human that we're trained away from, not on purpose half the time, but just by default. And there is a calling every one of us have that is not separate from the artist's soul.
Oh, no.
It is one and the same.
Yeah, I agree.
And even before I like to draw, I was drawn to draw.
Yeah.
I was drawn to beauty. My favorite television show when I was growing up, besides Soul Train and American Bandstand, was the Carol Burnett show.
Oh, I love Carol Burnett.
I stayed up. We got to stay up late to watch her. Mm-hmm. I was drawn to her humor and the skits. I was drawn to Soul Train and American Bandstand because of the music and the movement and the motion and the energy.
Yes.
I was drawn to sitcoms because they were formulas that made people laugh. And I kept being drawn to all things that ended up being unification frequencies. And I kept being drawn to things where whoever was the host or the singer or the dancer or whatever it was letting their authentic soul artist shine so bright that it infected, in a good way, it inspired and infected everybody else along the way.
Absolutely.
And everything I did once I got out of loading trucks, working at the Archdale Soda Shop, shout out, not really, And also, when I worked in a textile mill, followed in my family's footsteps, I was bored out of my head. And then worked at Taco Bell. Hey, have you ever seen a 10-pound block of cheese?
No.
Sexy.
No.
It's sexy, sexy cheese. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to share today with you 5. You know what? If you just tuning in, what they listening to?
We're listening to Coming Out with Liz and Eddie, and I'm Liz Layu.
I'm Eddie Connor. Today's topic is honoring your artist soul, and we're going to give you 5 things that you can do to honor that before we wrap up the show. What are the first 3, Liz?
It's daydream, practice joy, and take action towards your dream. I think we talked about that. Mm-hmm. And what are the last 2, Edward?
The last 2 is about play, playfulness, and the importance of that, and also allowing.
Yes.
So let's jump over to the first one in our 5 tools that will help you honor your artist soul. So talk to me about daydreaming and how it's going to help everybody, even Gertrude out there sitting on the sofa.
Okay.
Okay.
So daydream. Daydream. I mean, everyone, when we're children, our teachers are telling us, stop daydreaming. Everyone tells you, stop daydreaming. No, we're telling you it's the opposite. Keep daydreaming. Keep imagining for yourself things that are different, things that are unusual, things that are unconventional. Why not? Who's there to tell you no and that it's wrong? Daydream. That allows the imagination and visualization. I sound like a drunk person. Mm-hmm. Visualization to get that bottle under the table. Oh. Anyway, so visualization helps you to stimulate those ideas and tap into that creative sphere.
Well, the thing I like about daydreaming, it's one of the first ways we marry heaven and earth in our body. Oh, think about it. You're channeling.
Well, yeah.
You might have spittle coming down the side of your face and your eyes might be crossed and you're supposed to be doing algebra, but you're looking out the window and you go into a trance-ish and you are summoning daydreams.
Ish. Okay, I said ish.
Okay. And so it's like you're literally, the heaven and earth is in there. And then the teacher comes along, especially if you're in a Catholic school, Bachow!
Oh, yeah, that ruler.
And snaps you out of the daydream. But you can consciously daydream or you can daydream by default. If you daydream by default, you know what you're doing? You automatic pilot and you're daydreaming that your credit card limit was higher than it is, but it ain't.
You're so silly. Okay, what's the next one,
Practice
Edward?
joy.
Practice joy. Oh, my God. Have you ever, and I was thinking about this, have you ever just sat with yourself and you're like in a really terrible mood or whatever, and then all of a sudden you just said, I'm going to make a choice. I'm going to be joyous. I'm going to be happy. And honestly, if you do that, if you make that choice and commitment to joy, think of, even regardless of what's around you, think of what it is that makes you joyous. Think of what it is that makes you feel that warmth inside of you. And that will actually bring more of the same to you. Now, you will attract that.
Yes. And you do it a few steps at a time. There's another thing that goes along with it is they say.
No, I want one big old step. Okay.
She wants a quantum leap into Never Never Land.
I
do. They'll say, even if you're sitting in your car by yourself or even at home by yourself, just to start smiling.
Exactly. Oh, yes.
Smile for longer than 68 seconds. Yeah. Then it shifts your insides. It shifts the way you think, the way you feel, and your frequency. And the same with joy.
Yes.
It's like most people don't practice joy.
No.
They feel joyful when they win the lottery.
And you think about it, there's a book by Sanaya Roman who we both adore. And she says, don't let other people steal your joy. Don't let circumstances or people steal your joy and make you unhappy because they're unhappy. You don't have to do that.
We should get a billboard that says that. Don't let circumcision steal your joy.
Don't let... Exactly.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
So take action towards your dream. You did speak about that.
Yes.
Give them another concrete way to take action, inspired action.
Inspired action. Okay, so let's say that you are feeling that I want to take a foreign language. So one day you wake up and you just go, I've been wanting to take that Japanese language.
Because you're drawn to
Because
it.
I'm
Don't know
drawn to
why.
it. This happened to me. That's why I brought it up. And I had an opportunity, and all of a sudden, I decided, I have time to take Japanese, and I was taking Japanese, and it was giving me all this joy. But at the same time, I have, I was a single mom at the time, and I had responsibilities, and I said, okay, so I had to take computer. So I took computer and blah, blah, blah. So it came down to the point that I couldn't take both classes. Japanese was so easy for me.
Wow.
And writing it, I just loved the way they write, the characters. It was amazing. But I had a choice. I had to go either that way, or do computer and to support my family,
Corporate
whatever,
America,
corporate America. And that was my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so my fear took over. I just go, okay, I'm going to have to give up Japanese. Do you know how upset my soul was? I was so upset for months because I decided to take computer. This is a true story. So down the road again, I decided I wanted to take more language. I love languages. And but I did, and it turned out very well. So I'm just saying that when you feel that need, that energy that draws you to something, compels you to take something that's unusual, unconventional, go do it, follow that. And when you're given the opportunity, think about it, make a choice, and I would say, like, take a practical example. Take a piece of paper and write down, what are the positive negatives if you do this one thing? What are the positive and negatives if you do this other thing? And then look at it physically, and you can see your thought process on all of this and how you feel about it.
Yeah.
That will help you make a decision. It's just not up here. Look at it.
Yeah, it's never only up here anyway.
Yes.
We talk about that all the time.
Uh-huh.
Take action towards your dream. Remember this too.
Yeah.
Even if you broke ass broke.
Yep.
Or rich ass rich.
Yep.
Choosing a better thought than the one you chose before it is an action.
Yeah.
It's an inspired action.
Yes.
Literally choosing to, instead of watching what's going on in traffic, looking at the beautiful things on the side of the road while you're listening to Gloria Gaynor and Donna Summers. Okay.
That's right.
It's constantly taking these action-oriented steps from a place of inside inspiration, because that inspiration and that honor is an extension of your soul. And you're learning to co-create. That's what an artist is, a creator and a co-creator, to pull a better quality of life to you. Now, the fourth one at our 5 things today is play. Now, I like to say, pay attention, girl.
Yeah, I do too.
Because paying attention is what it is.
Yeah.
When we're playful, when we're having fun, when we're lighthearted, we're more integrated.
Yeah.
And playing with colors is very different than trying to get an A on your art exam.
That's right.
And play is, I can't stress how important it is. And very few, and I'm guilty of this, very few of us play. Listen, the last time I played, I was listening to Beyonce. You know, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it, but I was trimming my beard. Don't do that. I think one of my committees jumped up and knocked the thing. So I ended up having a goatee for about a month there. That wasn't pretty, but I had fun playing. And the last one out of our top 5 things you can do to honor your artist soul is allowance. And the thing about that, we ain't talking about your mom and daddy giving you an allowance.
No.
We're talking about the art of allowing, because you can want what you want all day long. If you're in the way of allowing it to come to you, then you're going to accidentally contradict it or stop it or block it.
Don't you think that play and allowance, they're kind of like simultaneous?
Well, when you are being playful, when you are daydreaming, when you are in joy, you are allowing.
Yeah, you are. And you're allowing that playfulness to come out of you. I have to say that, when I was younger, I was very serious, super serious.
I can see that.
Very serious. And even now, sometimes I find myself way too serious.
Are you trying to tell me you were serious?
Yeah.
I'm just getting a psychic kit here. Hold on a second. Yeah, you were.
But it took a while for me to get more playful, to relax, because I would take everything way too seriously. And so,
Were you more playful after you had your daughter,
yeah,
or more serious?
I would say a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll ask her later after the show.
Okay, you ask her that. Okay. Only tell me if it's positive.
I think from our first show about acceptance.
No. I would say yes. It was hard for me to get. I was very. How do I say? I didn't really talk a lot when I was younger. Only as I got older and more accepting, then I was able to speak more.
I was the same. I was introverted, and I'm using this term correctly. I'm not being disrespectful, but we were literally socially retarded because we never did anything.
Oh, you weren't
Mama
socialized.
took us to No, we weren't.
Yeah,
we weren't like feral cats either, because we'd get a whipping. But like the only place they took us was to my grandma's to babysit, and then back
only
home.
Family, right?
Yeah. What, just grandma. And then we'd go to the grocery store. We didn't go out and eat. We didn't run around and visit all mom and dad's friends.
Oh, we didn't do that.
We didn't. It was all super, super serious. So what I'm getting at is artists. Some of the best artists are ones who were super serious growing up and introverted and quiet and shy because we learned to observe the world around us with these 5 principles.
Great point. Excellent
which is daydreaming, practicing joy, taking action towards your dream, inspired action, play attention, and then allowing what you want, allowing what your artist soul is inspiring you to be drawn to.
Doesn't also allowing that which you put out what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say allowing whatever the universe provides to you to come to you too.
Yes.
Because you can deny it. You can, once you've started this ball rolling and it starts coming to you, you're going like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, allow it to come to you. Allow it to stimulate you into that creative sphere.
100%.
You have to allow it to come back the other way. The wave is going to come back the other way too.
And it's going to be a tsunami of honoring your artist's soul.
Absolutely.
Wave after wave after wave of feeling connected and tuned in, tapped in, turned on to that stream of pure positive energy that creates worlds. And if you're just tuning out, we're getting ready to tune out ourselves. If you're tuning in, we're tuning out. So this has been another episode of Coming Out with Liz and Eddie. I'm Eddie Connor.
And I'm Liz Lyu.
This whole show has been about honoring your artist's soul. And a really super quick recap is daydream, practice joy, take action towards your dream, play attention, and practice the law of allowing so that you get to follow and honor the love that is your artist's soul within and co-create big, great, vibrant, beautiful, brilliant things out on the earth plane. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
And remember to keep your thoughts filling some frequencies high, fast, and pure so that you can unlock the universe within. Okay.